Brother, how the hell are you doing? Welcome back. Right on time, right on schedule. So first off, it looks like a storm is brewing. And you can smell fall in the air. That crispness, that tinge of winter just kind of looming on the horizon. And that could, that used to get me very kind of in my head and depressed. Like, man, winter, here we go again. Here we go again. And as I get older, it's just like, yeah, here we go again. Bring it on. Come what may. Let life happen to you. Let life dance with you a bit. Let life molest you a little bit. And people think I'm joking, but if you really want God to shape you, because God will shape you, He'll direct you where to go in your life. But in order for Him to mold you and shape you, you can't be rigid with thought and preconceived notions. You can't have everything, just concrete and rigid up in here. And back in my day, man, that's all I did. All I did was think. Like, seriously, thinking for me was a habit. Thinking was how I believed I would escape. You ever catch yourself simping? Like, you just maybe you're out with the boys and you just catch yourself simping and you're just like, what am I doing? And the next day, or maybe as soon as your head hits the pillow, you just think, man, I was being a simp. Well, you got to simp to pimp. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're going to simp. Sometimes you're going to pimp. Sometimes you're going to be cringe. Sometimes you're going to win. So, I used to be in my bed just, oh man, I would always think, what did I say to that girl? Oh, I can't believe it. Or I would think, oh man, that person that I was talking to in sales. I would feel like I could have done better. I could have done better. But it was like, why am I so consumed with thought? Like, I was so hard on myself. Give it up, dude. Give it up. That's what I realized. You got to give it up. You built the ship, okay? It's time to set sail. It's time to let it fly. You built the ship. Stop being in your head. Take off, man. Take off. So everyone says, F around and find out. My new saying is muck around. Muck around and find out. Because that's how you really learn. That's retard maxing, dude. That's how you acquire knowledge. Is through those times of simping. And when you're like, okay, I fucked up. But you don't get in your head about it. You don't feel guilty. You just keep going. You realize, okay, I don't need to do that. Oh, wait, I don't have to act like someone I'm not. I don't have to put on this facade. I don't have to act. Really, when you stop acting, you just realize, okay, I can be who I am. That's okay to be who I am. My opinions, my humor, what I find funny, I don't have to live up to anyone's expectations. I can be who I am, and that's good enough. And that is a amazing place to be. But it's gotten very difficult these days. And another thing was, even until this day, something that I wrestle with is like when I have a bad day. Maybe I didn't sleep that great. I'm not tracking my sleep on the Whoop watch or something like that. But maybe you have a bad day. You're a little tired. You got a little brain fog. You don't feel your powerful, normal self. I used to just, oh, what's wrong with me? I question, oh, am I doing this? Is this wrong? Dude, sometimes you just have bad days. Sometimes it's negative 10 degrees outside and you don't want to do anything. Like, that's just how life is. But rule one is stated in our group by Fabian. They always come back. Women come back. They come back after 10 years when they see you, that you changed, that you got your shit together, that you're not that you become powerful. You just start mogging. They're like, wow, maybe I missed a good one, and I settled for less. So they come back. The good days come back. The sun comes back. Like when that's the beautiful thing about seasons is after this winter when everything's just dead and rotted, And then that first sign of spring, you just breathe it in, just, I mean, it's an amazing feel. It makes everything, it makes life joyful. It makes the bleak, dark basement days worth it. It always comes back, dude. The opportunities, the job opportunities, it always comes back. And thinking, though, really thinking makes you unable to continue in the muck. Thinking is like a quicksand. You know, it kind of, thinking really pulls you down, keeps you stuck where you are. So when you're mucking around, just like Peter, when you're walking on water, you start thinking, you look down, you're not living with faith. Shoot. That's when you start drowning. And you have to be reminded, wait a minute, this is life. So my main problem back in the day is I was a young man. I was filled with testosterone, which is an amazing thing. Very horny. But I was so impatient. You know, if you're alive, man, I keep saying this, I keep hammering on it, but if you're alive and you can feed yourself and you can laugh every day and you can have somewhere to sleep where you're not getting pissed on by the heavens, you're winning. I mean, you are the Ubermensch. When you get impatient and the world we live in, it feels so rush, go, 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 that it's hard to really take it day by day. Let me like this. By the way, we're smoking a Avo Heritage. Pretty good. It's not that full body like an Oliva Serie V or a La Gloria. It's very light, but it's a good cigar. So it was really just like, I was impatient, and I was making moves though. I was every day I was doing what I could, but I wish I had that faith. You know, I wish I had that retard maxing mindset of, I don't got to beat myself up. I don't got to be hard on myself. What really taught me was when I used to lease a car. I used to lease the Mini Cooper, a lot of you guys saw. And I turned it in. And for like 6 months to a year, I didn't have a car. So I would just walk everywhere. I would walk to Walmart to get my groceries once a week. I would walk, to the gym every day. Fitworks was like a mile or two down the road. I got so in tune with nature, man. When I would step outside the back door, I would just smell the air. I could tell you instantly if it was going to rain or not. I got immune to the cold weather. Like people were like, dude, how do you not have a jacket on? I was like, because I'd be burning up. I had so much brown fat, and I was lean. I had to walk out of necessity. I didn't even want to walk. I just had to walk to feed myself. I think that's where my dislike for walk came from, because I was just walking around suburbia, and I'm like, this is uninspiring. Now, if I was walking in a beautiful UK British countryside, I'm sure I would, be euphoric and happy. But in the US, man, there's a lot of just flat suburbia. It's uninspiring. You look out, there's a Walmart in the distance, there's a Petco. It's just not that great. So you got to make an effort. Anyway, so I got so into, and I learned then, that sort of lifestyle of not having this instant vehicle to sort of hop me around. I used to walk to the library, and I would go to the library like twice a week, actually more, to upload videos, because I didn't have internet in my house. So I would go to the library, and I'd always buy a snus, Swedish snus from the local, what was it called, Sheets. And I loved it, man. I would get a coffee at the library, chill out, just scan some books, whatever. And it kind of slowed me down, and it kind of made me realize, like, hold up, buddy. Hold on a second. Stop this nonsense. Like, stop this overthinking. It just kind of became a part of me, man. It really did. It just kind of became a part of who I was. And you know, when you hear, like, that's the thing, when you catch yourself saying a goofy thing or cringing or simping, or you know, you're not happy with how you handled something, you're not in favor, you know, of your own self. When you, it's okay, man. Like, when that devil, when the, you know what you say to Satan? You say, Satan. You say, here's Satan. You say, get behind me, Satan. And then what you do is you turn to Satan and you do a 1800. You do an 1800, and you walk away. That's what you do to Satan. When those thoughts start creeping in, when the doubt, you got to do an 1800, man. You got to walk away. Because when thinking becomes a habit, you're in quicksand. Okay? Really, if you got to muck around and find out, because in filth it shall be found. Everything you need can be found in the places that you maybe have sealed yourself off, you barricaded yourself off from going. Out of fear, out of maybe just trying to be this disciplinary, out of being this perfect idea that you've been, you know, sort of sold. But you're a man. You're not perfect. I'm not going to say the whole thing, but the first poem that I ever committed to memory was not this. It was actually Jack London. But If by Rudyard Kipling is one of my favorites. And I found so much, just, if I'm ever in my head, I just think of this poem. The first sort of stanza is, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. Don't get emotional. And yet, don't look too good, nor talk too wise. The whole poem is amazing. And that first sort of section has so many gems in it. Keep it simple. Don't look too good. Don't talk too wise. Keep it simple, man. You know, if you can hate and not give way to hating, if you can love other people, holy smokes. I mean, if you cannot get emotional with the world, you can be free, and you can love. You're going to be free, man. You're going to be, that's the biggest thing. That's what keeps you small, is when you hate, when you get emotional. Dude, the whole poem, Kipling really hit on something good. And I tell you, at the end, it's like, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you'll be a retard, my son. He doesn't say retard, he says man. But really, I mean, that's kind of what we're hinting at with retard maxing is, you know, all of this takes a bit of balls, a bit of courage, a bit of shutting the mind off. A bit of that return to Eden. So, a little update now that we're about halfway into the cigar. A little bit more character, a little bit more body. But no cocoa, a little pepper. Again, this is not a full body cigar. This isn't going to scare anyone. You could be completely new to cigars and have this Avo. And the band on Avos always looks so good, but I prefer more of a full body, smack you in the face, where you got to put your tinfoil hat on and say zippity doo dah, hoomanaga. This is not that cigar, but it is enjoyable. It is nice. There's a subtle cupcake-ness to it that kind of lingers, like a nice red cab wine. Kind of lingers on your tongue. But that's about it, man. I mean, you know, just mellow. Just mellow. Very mellow. So muck around and find out. Seriously, in filth it shall be found. And it's Friday. It's the weekend. Hope you guys are having an amazing start to your weekend. Let's freaking go, dude. Let's freaking go. Let's get out there. I wish I did that more. I wish I would my big problem was I never, I never talked to his, like, girls because I was so afraid. Like, this was in high school. I was so afraid of just being an embarrassment. I had a pretty stern mother. I love her to death. God bless her soul. She's in heaven right now. But I had a pretty stern mother. And a lot of that anxiety and that overthinking really rubbed off on me. But at her core, she was good. She was a loving person. But I remember just kind of feeling this shame for any time I maybe was a little bit in the filth, in the trench. But that's where you find your treasure, man. That's where the gold is. And as a young man, you gotta be okay. You gotta be okay with the fuck ups, the embarrassments, the rejections. Because then you find who you are. You see what you're about. And it all starts clicking. Just boom, boom, boom. It all starts coming together. Until anytime you're in a room filled with people, anytime maybe you're a little nervous, it's just like, yeah, I've been here before. Of course I'm going to be okay. Of course I'm going to figure this shit out. It's amazing. There was a comment on a previous video. I loved it. He said, when you think twice, you double lose. I'll probably make that the title. Amazing comment, by the way. When you think twice, you double lose. By the way, shout out to the guy that said didn't have a single deep thought today. Because that title, for some reason, that title resonated with a lot of people. And on Twitter, it took off, so thank you. Cheers, brother. Thank you. Yeah, man, I love to hear your takes on these. You think twice, you double lose. A freaking man. Amen. That's amazing. You really do. You double lose. How dare we question ourselves? F it, man. Calm down, Wayne. Calm down. So, when I was in preschool, I told you guys this before, I got my first boner. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think that my affinity for sundresses began at this very moment. My preschool teacher, and there's never just one, it's a whole ensemble of preschool teachers, and she would just bounce me, boop, 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 just kind of pat my head. And something about her, it was the smell. It had to be pheromones. And she smelled like just freshly bathed white woman. I'm there. That is probably my strongest nostalgia moment, is being on her lap. I remember her dress. It was black with yellow polka dots, something of this nature. And I mean, those retreats that guys go on and they're like, to be a man, to like, for some reason they have this trauma and stuff, and they go to these retreats and these drill sergeants are yelling at them, "You're a man now." Dude, I knew in that moment I was a man now. I didn't need no one yelling at me, "You're a man now." I'm a man. You're a man. I'm a man. Bro, I knew in that moment. I don't know how old you are in preschool, but I was a freaking man now. I knew in that moment that I had the spirit of Genghis Khan inside of me. Because I was a horny bastard. Seriously, from a young age. And I just looked around. I was like, I don't like this. Okay? Here I am on my little white woman throne. And I was looking at all the other little idiots playing with their Legos and their blocks. I'm like, something here is off. And immediately I knew that there was a calling. There was a difference And I think really, let's just not bullshit. When you're healthy, dude, and your body is just humming, just you're healthy, you got testosterone. Testosterone really, women will never, I don't think they experience this. There's no way they could experience this. Testosterone just really makes you feel like a son of God, like a like a like a conqueror of worlds, like Genghis Khan. You just feel like you could. Some days you wake up, I'm ready to bend this shit over. I'm gonna bend this to my will. The testosterone, the will, the spirit inside of you, all of those things, that's being a man, okay? That's really being a man. We got extreme levels of testosterone. And really, and I'm not big into oh my God, I can't have any plastic in my house. I don't give a shit about that. Listen, just take care of yourself. Have energy. You're a healthy person. Have some energy. Drink some orange juice, man. Cheers, boys. Got a little orange juice left. Cheers. Smoke if you're of age, smoke a cigar. Enjoy one with your father. Pump each other up. Look at the heavens. Say, wow, this is amazing, Dad. How you doing? Well, son, me and your mother, your mom's just giving me a lot. It's okay, Dad. Let's go play some pool at the local bar. And let's look at some big old titties. It'll all be all right, Pops. Man, I wish I was old enough to have taken my dad out and had a few drinks with him. That's the main regret I have. And I couldn't have drank because he died when I was 19. But I wish I could have played pool with him and had a few beers. And we could have talked to some girls. That would have been fun. Anyway, or maybe even got a lift in. I tried showing my dad one time on peanut butter. I was like, Dad, we can't be eating this shit. This is hydrogenated oil. We do not need this in our house. This is trans fat. He's like, what do you mean this is trans fat? Hydrogenated oil. He's like, this is stupid. Eat the damn peanut butter. I was like, wow. All right, maybe he is kind of based. But, God bless him. So, man, that spirit is inside of you. It really is. That spirit is inside of you. And the thing about being a dude, when you really embrace it, when you're not in the quicksand, when you're mucking around and you're finding out, life is a lot like the impatience, you got to set that shit aside. Like for how long will you continue to make yourself miserable? How much of our life will we just accept being miserable? You really got to ask yourself, is daily life supposed to be this teeter-totter? Just up and down, doubt on the other side, anxiety, fear, and then there's you. Is it really? Or is there going to be something greater? Some just God rock that just falls from the heavens and you just freaking moon. You become a mooner. You just, man, like, what is this teeter-tottering with these weaker opponents, these weaker enemies? Get behind me, Satan. All this thinking, dude. You gotta set your teeth on these devils. Seriously, this overthinking, everyone trying to get you to overthink. Question yourself, make you feel like you're not good enough. Fuck all that, man. Put it to the side. Set your teeth on devils. My favorite scene in Fight Club is when he's in the meeting, and he's like, so, he's talking to Edward Norton. The guy's like, so, what do you think about these colors for a new magazine? And Edward Norton turns to him like this. He goes, and there's just blood. You gotta set your teeth on these devils. All right, these purveyors of thought that want to keep you right where you are, man. They don't want you to break outside of the normal bus. They don't want you to attempt to be who you are. They want to herd you along like sheep, like a good boy that you are. Like you've been raised in school. Raise your hand, ask to go to the bathroom. If you got a boner, hide it because you don't want to go up with a boner to speak in front of class. But man, set your teeth on these devils. How long will you allow yourself to be miserable? Why have you trained yourself to be miserable, dude? F all that. It doesn't stand here. Muck around and find out. And the greatest thing, the greatest thing that can really keep you going, man, is you gotta believe that you have weight. You have weight. You got salt. You got freaking salt, man. Have salt in yourselves. And realize that, just like I lit this cigar, it's a flick. It's a flick. Creates a spark. With one flick, I could burn down an entire village. With one flick, with one action, with one retard maxing, no thought, action, sit your ass down and do it, commit, try, show up and try, begin, one flick. That's all it takes, dude. You could burn down the city. You could create something amazing, something beautiful, something that gives your life purpose. All you need is a flick. But you gotta be the one to flick and keep flicking. And sometimes it's cold, baby. Sometimes it's nasty out. It's rainy, it's slushy. Sometimes that lighter don't work, but you gotta keep flicking. You gotta flick the lighter. All right? And I'm telling you, like, the most, when I talk to guys that are struggling, maybe they're young men, old men, they've lost that ability to flick. All right? They've lost that ability to start a little fire and see how it spreads. You got to be that guy that just says, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try. I'm going to do what I can. And that's really what you need. Ride the tiger. Ride the tiger, baby. Because it is going to get a little rocky. All right? Ride the bull. Let it buck you around. Surf Kali Yuga. Chew glass, breathe smoke. And I'll tell you, at the end of the day, when it's the end of the day, you really gotta be righteous. I hope that if this whole retard maxing idea has stuck with you, perhaps your life has gotten better. Never forget that you have a duty to be righteous. If you are not righteous, you are an idiot. Because these unrighteous things where we harm other people and we're not driven from a place of wholeness and love. When we hate, when we do things out of fear, that's really thought. And that ambition that arises from fear corrupts you. And so if you're someone that is righteous at their core, and what I mean righteous, I don't mean you're a perfect man that never sins, that never, does anything wrong. That's not what retard maxing is. That is a cope that the idiot uses. What I'm saying is, at your core, man, like, you realize I'm here. And I have this body and this energy and this mind that could be of good. And I could use that. I could use that to make other people's lives good. And I could alleviate their suffering. If you just have that idea in your core, like in your body, in the marrow of your bones, you're going to be just fine. All right? And any trials and any tribulations that come your way, you're going to be able to handle them. And remember, the good days come back. The bad days sometimes show up. Big deal. Don't get impatient. Be at peace with one another. Be at peace with yourself. All right? Get rid of the thought. You're made powerful. You got 2 nuts. Scoop them and go forth and be at peace. All right, guys? I'll see you soon. Peace.